Okay, we're on the phone with Kyle French. Kyle French wants to explain some of the issues that he's been hearing about and his confinement from the Harris County Jail. Some of y'all might know Kyle French for his advocacy stuff. And Kyle, let's hear what you have to say.
So I guess this episode starts kind of I have a protective order. They violated, go to jail last time. When I was in jail, I was sent to a release hearing after I filed with the Court of Appeals and after some other issues that I witnessed murder here in the jail. And at the release hearing, I was basically ordered. I was asked to agree to additional language to be added to the protective order, which I denied. And I was told that they were going to order that anyways. I wasn't served due process for that. I didn't have a chance to respond. I didn't have time to get an attorney. I was basically woken from my cell and ushered down to the 280th, added this additional language where they say I can't talk about my ex indirectly. And so that opens up a gateway where anybody can say anything they want about my speech, and that's being twisted to, there's a clause in the protective order that says that if the applicant feels that they're threatened, embarrassed, harassed, intimidated, alarmed, or annoyed, and the events are reasonably likely to have occurred, then you go to jail. Right?
But wait a minute. But they came onto your Facebook page, isn't that right?
That's correct.
They're taking screenshots. So you're not allowed to have a voice about anything. You can't even you can't even complain about anything.
That's right. In essence, it's a gag order that keeps me from talking about the 280th District Court, which I've been very vocal about. And I have all these folks that I know about blocked from my Facebook. I don't interact with anybody from the other side. And yet they're allowed to stalk my Facebook, my family members, and me, and then try and say that I'm the one that's doing the bad things.
I think
my business.
I think because of your advocacy work, and calling out the things in Harris County, got us both locked up in jail. I mean, do you see that pattern?
I do. I mean, we had like 7 or 8 sheriffs in my trial. They made every courtroom watcher. We had 14 courtroom watchers, including 3 members of the Black Panther Party and many members of a group called Participatory Defense, a minority advocacy group, who stand behind me, and I support them as well. They were ordered to sit in a very massive courtroom. They were told that the proceedings were private, that the courtroom is private, and another gentleman was kicked out of the courtroom. It was very apparent they wanted to deter us from watching.
Talking to you just a little while ago, obviously they want to limit your free speech. It's clear retaliation on both of us that we get a damn near SWAT team to come watch us when we go to civil court, right? You don't even have 6 or 8 bailiffs in these criminal courts. And now you're tying up all these bailiffs because you don't like what George and Kyle French have to say about this. So one, they're violating our First Amendment right, and then they're violating our right to assemble, right? Because if I go with you, you go with me. You've seen it. We've seen the bailiffs kind of push us all around,
And the guys that are on the containment team from the jail, and these guys wear all kinds of extra garb. They wear the chest protectors and the extra gear. Their looks are made to be intimidating, and they have all this extra gear on. Certainly, it was an intimidation tactic to keep people from observing their constitutional rights.
Right.
By the state and the Supreme Court.
But you just talked about due process. You weren't given due process when they brought you back to the courtroom. They just threw you in a hearing, never mind serving you or telling you anything, right? They just brought you to the court, and judges are signing off on this stuff. right? So this judge is allowing them to violate your First Amendment. They're trying to intimidate you. This is a clear abuse of her robe, right? And if these judges don't know their basic fundamental constitutional rights of the people, the constituents that voted them in, they need to be pushed out of office. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I do agree. And so what the battle becomes about is when you have a judge that will just sign off on anything, the ideal thing that a dirty attorney knows they can get whatever they want on paper. My orders were written, and both times have been committed were written by opposing counsel.
Okay.
And
So
they even include that the attorney fees at the very last line, they're mentioned as attorney fees throughout. At the very last line, they say that they're child support. So if the attorney knows that attorney fees can't jail somebody, that's a debtor's prison. Let's call it child support when it's not. It doesn't even involve the matters of the child.
right. And so you weren't protected from your own child, right? You were just protected from your ex.
I have a protective order against a person that's not my child. My child's not even mentioned in those papers. I can't even say the name or identity of this person in any kind of manner, directly or indirectly. So we'll just leave it as I have a
Yeah.
against the person.
Yeah. So so these people are coming to your Facebook, screenshotting it, and this is a common tactic that we have in in family courts. I mean, my ex, I mean, same thing. She's complaining I'm abusive and I'm all of these things, yet she's coming over to my page. She's stalking me, taking screenshots and then entering them as exhibits. I mean, they were entering pictures of me of what I ate, and I ate steaks to the judge.
Yep.
You know, and these are the same people that are asking for protection, and they're the ones doing the stalking. And then you're the one going to jail because you're talking about judges that one don't follow the law and don't even know the basic fundamentals of the Constitution. This is all going it's all going down in Harris County like that.
It's funny to say that because they pick and choose, right? So they're definitely not talking about Judge Barbara Stalder holding a sign that says the teacher is female. They're not talking about the actions of the judge Curvey having ex parte communication with me. They're not talking about Rebecca Rowland suing her own client and misusing the protective order court over 13 times and abusing, other processes.
These are loaded courts. You know, they're here they're here to remove a parent from the house and the child, right?
Yes, the court is a theatrical performance. They know how to manipulate this and get just those slides in there, those still shot images that they want the court to see and omit other things. They're clearly picking and choosing through these messaging apps and saying, I want this in there, but we're not going to talk about these other issues. And as a respondent, you don't even talk about those issues. You just get to respond to what they allegate.
Yeah. They allege. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, and you and I have been most vocal about Harris County courts. I think we know that there is a problem. I mean, we've identified the problem. Wayne Deltrafino has identified the problem. And now we have solutions. Or my solution is just if a judge doesn't know the basic fundamentals of your constitutional rights and trying to threaten the arrest of a reporter. I mean, come on, how basic is that? And then now they're not even signing their own. They're not even signing their own orders. They don't even know what they're writing. We talked to a judicial candidate in Tarrant County yesterday, and he was stating that the judge signed off on a TRO without an affidavit. You had an ex parte TRO with no affidavit, and she signed off on that. And these judges don't know it. That's concerning.
That's the whole problem. And that's why they don't want us to courtroom watch. That's why they deny us the right to record in the courtrooms, because they use their whole staff, their bailiff, their coordinator, their clerk, their reporter, to control the narrative. It's all about control inside of the courtroom. Once you close those doors, they do what they want unless they think somebody's watching. The camera is the equalizer, and they hate that. That's why they try to intimidate us and kick people out. So they kicked out the reported it was in my case.
Yeah.
Fear of being exposed.
This is why we need cameras in courtrooms.
Absolutely.
The people that are supposed to be held to the highest of high standards, right, is doing degenerate shit like this. They're violating people's constitutional right. I mean, you went to law school. That's what you went to law school for, was to become an attorney and then ultimately rest yourself on that bench wearing that robe and controlling people's lives with your judgments. And here you are violating the most basic fundamental constitutional right, due process.
Right.
And
they chose the side of the light over the darkness. But yet once they got into these offices, they gravitated back toward, profit and control and just, their own personal feelings. I mean, look, Diane Curvey does not own the 280th court. So who is she to say that it's private? Our taxpayers pay for that. How is she to tell these court watchers that you're
okay, so I mean, let's count these patterns. One, there was no due process. Two, they're violating your First Amendment. They obviously don't like that you hang out with me or my group of parents, and then now they're doing this. They're jailing people out of retaliation is what they're doing.
That's right. It's all about control because they know that one person they flip you like a booger.
Yeah.
But when somebody has the power, of the media, and they have people behind them that actually believe them, that they, I was told that I need to have therapy, George. Judge Curvey now is, I guess, he's some kind of medical professional, and has diagnosed me with some kind of disorder.
Wait. She's not she can't even diagnose you. Somebody has to bring that motion. How somebody has to ask for therapy, right? They have to deem you,
I mean, that's how they try to take our, they try to take our credibility from us. They're saying, it's a crazy person.
But if
therapist,
if you
offer me a therapist free of charge.
Oh my goodness! And this is the lady this is the lady that talked to you on your social media, and she's she's breaking the law, the constitutional right. Damn, what's going on in Harris County judge with all these Harris County judges? I mean,
it's funny. I'm still on the lowest security that you can be. I'm actually an outside trustee, with the orange band and very, very low security. I mean, they know I'm not a threat even in here. I'm not a threat to anybody. I never have been. I'm just an advocate for. I'm quite the opposite. I'm trying to take the threat away from people that are literally suffering the loss of their family and their property at the hands of these tyrannical judges that do what they want. And you speak up and you pay the price.
Yeah. And I mean, I've been harping on this issue for years. I've met you a couple years back. We've been working together, but it's the same thing in the 257th court, the 309th court. I've seen. Yeah. I mean, you've witnessed some of the things that have happened in my case. And it's disheartening that you have judges that are making laws from the bench and using their violently, flagrantly wielding their discretion. Just using their discretion. Discretion doesn't allow you to break the law.
That's right. And to this day, I've not been charged with a crime. I've spent this will be my 5th month in jail, not concurrent, but I've spent a lot of time in jail. I've been detained by the same judge, and I've not yet ever been charged with, accused of, or convicted of a crime. Yeah. It's all based on feelings. I'm in here because I've made people angry by asking the wrong questions, I guess.
And now you have to go see a therapist because you're wanting them to uphold the law and the Constitution. Go figure. That'll be the day the therapist will have they'll have enough trouble with me, I'm sure. I might tell them a thing or two. I mean, yeah, we're getting punished for telling you to do your job. Yep. That's what you went to school for. And you still can't figure it out. We live in 2024. I know she has an iPad. She has Facebook. She knows technology. She can easily look it up. what is the what is the First Amendment? What's the Second Amendment, right?
We had to educate ourselves, and we can't come up to speed where they've had years of training in school and things like that, just so that we know our own rights, because they assume that you don't.
Right.
They
But
hope that you don't, and when you do, it becomes an issue.
and when the attorneys see other attorneys, they're supposed to report it. When they see attorneys doing unethical shit or weaponizing their legal services, they should report it. But it's you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to report your brother attorney or your sister attorney. That's part of the club, right? It's frowned upon when you do that. And so now, no. So we got a minute. We got
sisterhood.
Yeah.
They don't have no intention.
and this it needs to stop. But I know we got 1 minute. Kyle, you want to wrap up?
Yeah, I just want to tell everybody that's out there, thanks for the support. I know that everybody's standing behind me this time. I've had folks that have kind of come and gone through this roller coaster ride, and I'm not by any means going to quit. I'm going to keep standing up for what's right. I was born that way. No matter where you fall on the lines of parties or religion, faith, ethnicity, doesn't matter. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I don't care what clothes you wear. You're a judge, you're a lawyer. Do the right thing. I'm an orange, and I don't consider myself a criminal, and certainly George is not.
But this is what fathers have to do in order to bring attention to their plight. Like, we have to go to jail, and I know how it feels. I know how it feels, brother. I've been.
Thank you for using. All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Good night. Well, that was Kyle. Y'all heard from him, and I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to see or hear how he's doing. He's still in the fight. We're still exposing Harris County family courts and what they're doing. But stay tuned. There might be a part 2 to this conversation. Let me know what you think about it in the comments.